Hey guys, it's Stephanie with Simarchy, and welcome to another speed build. This is a fish market. Surprise, surprise. If you're a regular subscriber, you probably know I have a weird fascination with fish, and I'm also scared of them. I will talk about that. This is a long video. I will get into that in some other stories for sure. And if you're a new subscriber, hello and welcome. My name's Stephanie. I have a love-hate relationship with fish. So it's a little weird that I'm building a fish market, but hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I was inspired by Brindleton Bay here on the docks. It's a beautiful, beautiful world, and we have all these really cool fish signs, which I was like, what on earth would you do with these? And then I was like, wait, a fish market. And I had a friend who lived on top of a fish market. Sounds gross. Yes, it smelled, but the apartment itself was super cute. And it was pretty much just like this, where you had 360-degree views of the ocean. So it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. It was relatively cheap for being in the location that it was at. And of course, it was because there was a smelly fish market downstairs. If you're someone who enjoys the smell of fish and raw fish, I don't get it. I don't get you. If you're someone who eats sushi, I don't get it. I don't get you. If you're someone who eats fish in general, ew. I don't like fish. I don't like fish, but I do like fish. So I guess let's get into that. I don't know if I should talk about that first or my friend's apartment first. Maybe let's talk about the fish first, and then we'll get into the apartment thing when we actually start renovating the apartment furnishing. This is a fish market with an apartment on top, in case I didn't say that. So, okay, so my love-hate relationship with fish. Here we go. I've told the story a million times. I'm sorry to tell it again, but hey, you get repeat stories from me because I have like 600 videos at this point. So, it happens. So anyways, let's talk about my first favorite kind of fish. Uh, Gosh, actually, I have a lot of fish stories. It's going to be weird. I love mermaids. I know mermaids are technically half fish. I want to be a mermaid. Don't know how I'd survive in the ocean with other fish, but let's start from the beginning, okay? My favorite fish is a seahorse. A seahorse. Now, why a seahorse, might you ask? Or you might ask. I can talk, I promise. I'm getting to a story, I promise. Just let me compose my thoughts here. So anyways, I had always seen seahorses in cartoons depicted pulling a chariot with a mermaid on the back of it. Like, that's how I saw seahorses. I thought they were mythical creatures that carried mermaids around in chariots. That was my knowledge and understanding of seahorses for a very long time, until the age of 16. Which sounds super old to be an age to discover that seahorses are in fact real. Yeah, I know I sound like an idiot, but I was 16 when I found out seahorses were real. I was at a zoo, and this zoo happened to have a little aquarium with seahorses in it. And I'm just walking by, and I stop and I look, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? And it's a tank full of seahorses. And it would be as if you saw a mermaid right now, right? If you were just walking down the beach and all of a sudden you see a real life mermaid in front of you, what would your reaction be, So my first reaction was, wow, I'm an idiot for not knowing that these are real. And my second reaction was, leave me here. Like, I legit I think I was with my boyfriend. I was like, leave me here. I'm gonna be busy for a couple hours. And he did. He left me there. I sat there for a couple hours and just stared at the tank and was just like, like that. I just couldn't believe they were real. And I was instantly obsessed with them, of course, right? So I went home and did a lot of research. I found out they're actually really magical creatures. They really are. They're very mystical and magical, even though they in fact do exist. They're kind of sort of on the extinction or endangered list. I haven't done a lot of research as of lately, but there's many reasons that seahorses die, and yeah. That's a little bit sad to think about, but let's talk about the fun magical stuff about seahorses. So first of all, they're the only species where males can give birth. I know, the actual male gives birth. He doesn't just like carry the burbies. Wow. He doesn't just carry the burbies. He actually births them out of his tummy pouch. I don't know exactly how it works, but they like shoot out of his tummy, and there's thousands of baby seahorses, and they don't all survive, which is kind of sad. But yeah, that's how baby seahorses are made. That wasn't the whole process. That was just the cool part. But anyways, besides that, seahorses also, some tropical seahorses are known to mimic their colors, kind of like a chameleon does. So there was a story I read, and I'm pretty sure it's true, of a seahorse that had a mate, which the males usually have up to 7 mates. It's kind of weird, but this particular seahorse had a mate that he fell in love with, and he actually mimicked her exact colors and spots on him. Like, he camouflaged himself to look like her. And when she died, he died very soon after, like the same day or the day after. And I believe he died of a broken heart because he wanted to be with his seahorsey lady, fishy. Are seahorse even technically fish? I don't know. I mean, there's some kind of fish, right? I think they're technically pipefish, or pipefish are technically seahorses. You know, for saying that I'm obsessed with seahorses, I don't know that much about them. I should know more. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Another thing, like I said, they can have up to 7 females per 1 male seahorse, and they kind of court each other. And how does the male have so many babies then? I wonder if like the 7 females impregnate him at the same time, and then that's why he gives birth to 1,000 of fishy babies. I should probably look this up. I'll do some research and talk about it again in yet another video, and you guys are going to be so sick of hearing me talk about seahorses by then. They don't have teeth. They put sand in their mouth, and they grind up their food using the sand. And I guess that's about as much as I'm going to say about seahorses, because now I'm going to talk about the fish that I don't like. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't eat fish. So, making a fish market super creeped me out. Like, blech. But I also really wanted to do it because it seemed like a cool idea. I have been to fish markets. I haven't been inside of the one that my friend lived in. I've just been upstairs to her apartment. But I have been inside of another fish market. I don't remember why. I honestly cannot remember why. But I remember it was pretty gross. And I end up at like towards the end of the video just putting fish everywhere on all of these blocks. I get them out of Buy to Bug, by the way, if you don't know. I'll talk about that a little bit later maybe. But yeah, just dead fish and raw fish, and ugh. I don't eat fish. I think fish are gross. I think they're beautiful, and I would like to look at them in an aquarium, but I don't want to eat them. Don't want to touch them. And not wanting to touch them brings me to my second story, which I've told before. When I first moved to Florida, or it might have been when I was still visiting Florida, because I'm from Ohio originally. I came to Florida, and I spent a 2-week vacation here with my mom, and we went to the ocean, and we went swimming, and we had a lot of fun. And, well, we sort of had fun. And then we went back to Ohio, and I couldn't stop thinking about Florida, so I sold everything that I owned and moved here 2 weeks later. No joke. We just jumped in a car and moved here. Maybe I'll tell it. I kind of told that story before too. I don't want to totally bore my old subscribers, but yeah, long story short, we moved to Florida and lived in hotels, and lived in hotels until we found an apartment and found jobs, which actually, obviously we did. I've been in Florida for over 10 years now. But anyways, during that time that my mom and I were swimming in the ocean, I say we had a lot of fun, and we did. But at one point when I was in the water, a little itty bitty fishy swam right next to me and briefly brushed against my leg. Normal human being, probably stay in the water, kind of brush it off, not think it's a big deal. Me, I ran out of the ocean screaming like an idiot, like someone just attacked me because a fish touched me. Gross, ew, blah. Oh my god. And my mom was like, oh my god, what happened? Thinking like maybe I got stung by a jellyfish. And I'm just like, a fish touched me. A fish touched my leg. And she's like, so? And? Are you dying? And I'm like, it was gross. I'm never going back in there again. And she's like, Steph, there's like a 2-year-old in the water, and they're not freaking out about the fish. What is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm never going back in there again. And I've literally never gone back in the ocean since then. Weird story. I will go to the ocean. I will maybe dip a toe in the water. I will collect seashells. I will go on boat rides. I will look at fish in an aquarium. I will think that they're beautiful. But I do not want to be touched by a fish ever again. Nope. Should this whole video just be fish stories? Because I just thought of another one. I don't even know if I've told this one before, but I have had fish growing up. And Oh my God, just a million fish stories just popped into my head. Okay, so first of all, Jenna Marbles did a video recently where she went to go get some pet fish, and apparently the type of fish that she got and the aquarium that she got and the plants that she got for it weren't exactly the ideal environment for them. And a lot of her fans told her that in her comments. She said they were nice about it, but a lot of people were like, no, that's not the right life for these fishies. They shouldn't be in a circular tank. They need real plants, not plastic plants. They like to be in schools of other fish. So she got really upset and she went and took them back to the pet store and decided she's not at the right point in her life to have fish right now. So cool, good for her. I think that was the right call. Some people thought she overreacted, but I think that was the right call. You know, fish are living creatures and she wants them to be happy and comfortable. And she actually doesn't eat fish or animals at all, I think. I think she's an actual vegan or vegetarian, where I'm not. I just have weird quirks about certain animals being eaten, fish being one of them. But anyways, what that reminded me of, she was talking about how it's not uncommon, or at least it wasn't uncommon when we were growing up, to treat fish like just a object, not really like a living creature. We would win them at carnivals. I don't even know if they still do that, but you could throw a little like ping pong ball into a bunch of fish aquariums, like the little round ones, and there wouldn't be fish in those, I don't think, but if you landed on a certain color or something like that, you would win a goldfish, and they'd give you a goldfish in a plastic bag and you would take it home, and there wouldn't be any instructions on how to take care of the fish or how to feed the fish. And you know, luckily, every time I won one, we would go out and buy fish food and put it in a little bowl or aquarium, which, again, I don't know if that's the best thing for fish anymore, the round ones. I don't know. Is that all fish that don't like that? I don't know. But we had fish, and they would die. You know, we weren't trained to take care of fish. We were just like 5-year-olds that want to fish at a carnival. But I do remember one time when we had fish, and I don't know if they were ones that we won at a carnival or just fish that we had. My sister... yeah, I'm going to rat out my sister here, decided the fishies needed a bath. And she knew, she was really young at the time, like really young. And she knew my mom would wash the dishes with dish soap. So she thought she could wash the fishies with dish soap. And I'm not going to finish the story. She put dish soap in the fish bowl, and you can imagine what happened to the poor fishies. But yeah, that's another fish story. I swear I have some really weird fish stories. I'm trying to think of some more now. Okay, so these aren't fish. These are mammals, right? I think manatee are mammals, technically. But my friend that lived on top of the fish market, I guess we'll go into that story now. She would tell me that the manatee would come towards the dock next to the fish market because they would spit out fresh water into the salt water. And also, I'm sure there was like fish parts and stuff. Chum, I don't know. I'm sure there was stuff they would throw back into the ocean, I guess. I don't know how that works. But the point is, manatee would come to the fish market pretty often, and she would see them. And my dream still to this day, besides whale watching, is to see a manatee in the wild. I want to see one so bad. I think that would be amazing. So going back to like the me hating fish and also loving fish, I have, again, I know manatees are technically mammals, but I have a weird fascination with all types of sea life. I am 1,000,000,000% intrigued by it. I love whales and dolphins and all that stuff. Like my big dream in life, like my big goal before I die, the one thing on my bucket list is to go whale watching. But then like sort of a more immediate likely goal is to see a manatee out in the wild. So she would tell me all the time that she would see them, and every time I would get there, they would be gone or they wouldn't be around, and I would get so frustrated because I really wanted to see one. And then my sister also, she ended up moving to Florida at some point. She doesn't live here anymore, but she would go fishing with her boyfriend. Or maybe they were married at the time. They're married now with her hubby. They would go fishing, and she saw a manatee one time, and I wasn't there either. And I would just get so frustrated that everyone was seeing manatees except for me. So there is a water plant. No, not a water plant. An electric plant somewhere here in Tampa. And I don't know exactly why, but I think the same type of concept. They pump out fresh water into the ocean, or the ocean's warmer by them. I have no idea what the actual science is behind it, but for some reason the manatees flock to this part of the area in the wintertime when it's colder. So actually, oh my god, it's like wintertime now technically. I mean, it is. It's November, December. Whenever this is going up, it's probably December. So I could probably go see the manatees. And I'm pretty sure it's free to go. I don't know if you pay for parking or something, but they have like this sort of bridge dock thing, and it's on top of the river, and you can go up there and look down and see the manatees. So I'm a workaholic. I never really take a day off. But one day I took an actual day off and I went out there by myself, which is kind of weird because I would have enjoyed some company. I don't like really going anywhere by myself. But I went there by myself and I was like, today is the day I'm going to see a manatee. A manatee. I can talk. So I go out there, I drive all the way out there by myself. I'm looking around. There's a few other people out. I asked if they see any, and they said no. They'd been there all day and hadn't seen any. So I got my hopes down. And I went to like the information center and asked, where's the manatee? And they were like, well, actually, this is the time of the year when they start to disappear. I think we may have saw some last week, but they're probably not going to come back till next season. And I was heartbroken. I was so heartbroken. So maybe now that I'm pre-recording a bunch of videos today, I will actually take a Monday and go look for manatees, and I could vlog it for you guys. I'm always trying to think of an excuse to actually vlog for you guys because I'm horrible and I never leave the house. When I say the house, I mean the store. I never leave my store. So on the rare occasion that I do go out like dress shopping or something, I try to vlog it for you guys. So how cool would it be if we could vlog going and looking for manatees? Even if we don't see the manatees, that'd be fun. I think I'm going to do that. But anyway, still a dream to see the manatees. Really jealous of my friend that lived in this apartment and got to see them all the time. But going back to the apartment, I kind of described it before, but it was a fish market. And then upstairs was actually, I think, 3 units, and they were very tiny. They're technically like studios because you would go straight in through the kitchen, and that would immediately open into the living room. And then there was a nook where the bed was, and there wasn't a wall or any divider or anything separating it. It was just like a little nook tucked around for the bed, and then a bathroom. So it was a traditional studio, and it was so small and it had windows everywhere, and from every window you could see the ocean. Like literally, it was 360 views of the ocean, and I was so jealous. There was a balcony up front and a balcony out back. Even though you got that weird, smelly, fishy fish market ocean smell, it was still beautiful and stunning. And here's all the fish I took out of Bite-a-Bug. Yeah, there's a lot of them. But anyways, I remember just being so jealous of my friend. And yeah, I really loved that apartment. I don't know, I was going to maybe tell a story about her, but there's only 7 minutes left of the video. I guess that's enough time to tell a story. I don't know what story I'll tell about her, but basically she was my best friend. I don't remember why we had a falling out, but when I first moved to Florida, she's one of the first people I met. And I was still kind of in a partying phase then, so we would go to the bars a lot. We would go drinking a lot. We'd meet guys together. Like I don't know if I'd say we got into trouble. I mean, sort of. I was kind of the overprotective one where she'd be out, or we'd be out together and she'd be dancing and meet a guy, and the guys would try to take her home, and I'd be like, no, you're not taking my friend home. We don't know who you are. You might kill her, blah, blah, blah. So I was really protective of her. And at some point I just got kind of sick of that. I got kind of sick of going out every single night. I mean, we would go out and party every single night. And I ended up getting a job at a newspaper, and it was a really cushy corporate job. I was eventually the regional manager, so I was very high up in the company, and I just couldn't go out and party every night and still get up and go to work and do a good job. It just wasn't feasible anymore. I think that's kind of how we had our falling out. I don't even know if I want to call it a falling out, but I think that's what happened. I was just I can't do this anymore. You're out partying every day and I have a real job to go to. And it was weird too, because she had, oh God, there's not a lot of time left. She had a boyfriend, and he was much older than her. I think at the time we were both in our early 20s and he was in his mid 40s. So I already thought, no judgment, but I already thought that was kind of a weird relationship. But the fact that he would let her go out and party as long as she would come home to him, he was fine with it, I thought was a little weird. I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own type of relationship. Like I said, I'm not one to judge, but for me, I'd be like, no, if we're in a relationship, we're in a relationship. You can't go out and meet other guys. But I think his train of thought was that she was still young. She hadn't experienced everything that he had experienced, so he wanted to give her the freedom to do whatever she wanted, knowing that she would always come home to him. So I guess that was kind of cool of him to do that, but I personally didn't like it. I was still super protective of her when we were out and about, because I don't know, it's weird to just meet someone and go to their house. I was legit scared for her life sometimes, and I had to play that mom role to her a lot, so that got pretty old too, but I still loved her apartment. Like, I should go back and see if it's available. I mean, it's probably, no, it's way too far for me to live it now. Yeah, it's like a good hour, hour and a half away from where I live now, but I always was jealous of that dang apartment, that little tiny studio apartment with the 360 water views, just because of how cheap it was. I just realized that was a really weird story to tell. But anyways, we're finally working on the apartment of the fish market. I don't know what else to say in terms of the actual fish market that we built here. It's a bunch of blocks with fish and crates. Just fish in crates everywhere. So there you go. There was the fish market. But this part's a little bit more exciting. This is the upstairs apartment, and I did not model it after my friend's apartment, although thinking back now, maybe I should actually build the type of ones that she lived at, because they were really cool, and you can fit like 3 Sims families side by side if you really wanted to. But this one's set up for, I don't know, I tried maybe not give them a backstory, but I try to imagine what type of Sims would live here when I'm building. I imagine it would be a lonely older gentleman that owns the fish market and somehow inherited his toddler granddaughter, and he's not really well equipped to take care of her. He might be a little bit of an alcoholic, and yeah. What a weird story, right? But I was trying to imagine who would live here, but I feel like that's what it would be. I feel like it's an older gentleman with a bit of a drinking problem, that maybe his daughter died and he inherited his grandchild, and he doesn't really know how to take care of the child, but they have an amazing room with lots of toys, but they live on top of a fish market. I guess there's something wrong with that, but I don't know. That's just the story I came up with in my head. Obviously, you could put whatever Sims you want in here, but since this is the Cats and Dog expansion pack, I figured we had to have a dog or a cat living here. It is upstairs on the 2nd floor, so if you're going to download this and put a puppy or a kitten in here, just remember they're going to have to be carried up the stairs. But if you have like an adult dog or cat, they can go up the stairs themselves. I just thought it would be cool to have pets here, so I do end up putting a little pet bed in the master bedroom, and some little toys and stuff for it in the living room. It could be a cat or a dog, whatever you want. I bet a cat, oh my god. Wouldn't a cat's dream to live in a fish market? Like, seriously, wouldn't that be a cat's dream? Like, don't cats love fish? I don't know, my cats don't like fish, but it's like a thing, right? Cats like fish, and I don't know. Oh my god, yes, you need to put a cat in here. Whoever downloads this house needs to put a cat in here. That's going to be the happiest, luckiest cat in the world. All the fish scraps they want. Yeah. And I was testing out that bathroom because it was angled a little bit funny, and she couldn't use the toilet the way I had it configured, but this way she can. That's just my sim self. I use her to test the houses out. So there is 2 bathrooms. There is the master suite, and then there is a bigger bathroom that has the toddler potty, which I didn't put a cat litter box in there because, like I said, when I first decided to put a pet in here, I figured a dog would be nice, but come on, this is the perfect cat house, so you should probably add a little cat litter in one of the bathrooms. And yeah, look at me telling you how to play your game. A missed opportunity. But I like this. I like creating little houses and stories. I used to always create the Sim and the Sim family before I would build. Now I just kind of start building, and while I'm building, I imagine who would live here. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit run down. It's a little quirky place. Forgot a fridge, so now I'm trying to figure out where to put a fridge. And I figured just taking out that cabinet and putting the tiny fridge there would fit better. And here's where I finally decided to go in and put the pet stuff. But yeah, I think it's cute. I think it's fun. It's a fish market with an apartment on top. I guess that's all there is to it. Brindleton Bay is an amazing town and definitely inspired this build. I would have never thought to build a fish market otherwise. So here's the screenshots. I'm really proud of this one. I know it's a weird thing, but especially for me and my weird background on fish that you just like kind of got a crash course on. I love this back area with like the ramp that I built for the deliveries and all the trash and the fish bones that I found in Buy to Bug. The little, I don't know, I think that's for a bakery, but I found little cuts that look like fish. I think Cyberdoll did that in her grocery store. Credit to Cyberdoll if that was her that did that. But It was fun. It was fun. This was fun. It's gross and fun, and I like it, and I like the backstory. So if you had fun, make sure to subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I post videos all the time, and I have little weird stories to go with them sometimes. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. There's my Sim again, just sitting on that couch like she owns it. I keep ending this video or these videos and then realizing there's still a few seconds left, so I'm just going to keep babbling until the video actually ends. But yeah, there's the toddler's room, the little stuffed animals, the dollhouse, and yeah, you can't see it anymore, but I really like the outside of the building with the signs and the lights. It fit in Brindleton Bay very nicely right there. So here's the floor plans, and now I'm really going. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Wait guys, before you go anywhere, don't forget to click over here to watch new videos and click on my face when I disappear to subscribe.